Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Yes, it's Wednesday. It may be a clutch your pearls type of day. I don't know. You decide. But I want you to go ahead and put this in the chat. I am not fixed. Put it in the chat. I am not fixed. Okay, we're gonna get into that. I know that might even be a kind of like crazy title, and you probably like, Deneen, what are you talking about? Hey, sissy, come on, here we go. Hey, I'm live at 5. 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 Come on inside of the StreamYard room. Here we go. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely go ahead and share. I'm waiting on my red dress. I saw you pop in, sissy, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to talk too long before I get my red dress. So please do the honors of posting my red dress. Let's get into this conversation. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you for putting this out here. Thank you for my red dress. Thank you for my red dress. Look, I am not fixed. I am not fixed. So look, I want to get into this conversation about not being fixed, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Deneen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It is a training environment for women in the world. If you want to take the knowledge that you have and turn it into a profitable business, like aligning yourself with what it is that you believe God has called you to do, the skills that He's given you, the ability that He's given you, the cause that He's placed on your life, the purpose that He's placed on your life, and you want to monetize it, right? Like some people don't. Some people have a vocation or love or ministry, and they don't care if they get paid or not. They are just like, nope, my 9 to 5 fuels or takes care of my needs, and this is what I want to do on above and beyond. But for people like me who actually want to earn income doing what it is I believe God has called me to do, if you're interested in that, then be in conversation with me. Take a look at my videos, my content. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me here on Facebook. You can also join my private group, Career to Calling with Deneen Merriweather. Okay, look. So now that we've got that information out of the way, let's get into this conversation about I am not fixed. And if you're out there, you're listening and you're watching the replay, just put in the chat anything that you think would be helpful for someone else to come back and read. I do have some points, but I want you to take notes about this conversation, right? This is a conversation week. This is a let me get into your heart so you can start making decisions that will align you with the things that you talk about that you want to see in your life. So I am not fixed. When I say I am not fixed, I mean I am not a fixed being. Like I'm not fixed the way that I am. Like I totally have every right to shift, to change, to develop, to make different decisions. You know how sometimes you are in relationships, maybe with your significant other, maybe with the friend that you had for a long time, and you hear them say things to you like, oh my God, you've changed. You're not the person that you used to be. And sometimes that could make or sound like something negative, but put in the chat, I am not fixed. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? So happy that you are here. Girl, I was talking about you the other day. You missed it. And I'll remind me at the end, or maybe when we meet. I know that's a while off, but look, I was talking about you the other day, maybe if it was Monday, when I talked about I am not ready and our conversation, but I'll give a little recap and I'll tell you what I said about you. And I want to see if you remember us having this conversation sometimes last year. And it might have been like through one of the Wisdom Wednesdays. But back to the conversation about I am not fixed. Put it in the chat, I'm not fixed. So when it comes to who you are and who you have become, I want you to get that you are not fixed. Like you are free to change your mind about who you're being at any time you want. And regardless of the relationships that you have in your life, and I know that they love you and I know they've grown to love the person that you have become, but I want you to get that if you are showing up in life in a way that doesn't serve who you want to become now, that you are free to make the changes. Put this in the chat. I'm free to change. Put it in the chat. I'm free to change. I'm free to change. And you may not even get how you have developed yourself to be a fixed person. But if you ever found yourself saying any of these things, and it may be something different for you, but for me is I'm independent, or I'm strong, or I am reliable, right? Even other things, anything that you may say to yourself about yourself, I want you to get that sometimes that puts you in a fixed way of being, right? Meaning that when you show up differently, sometimes it would surprise people, maybe even surprise yourself. And when you are in relationship with other people, because remember, we have been designed to be in relationship with people. We have not been designed to do this life by ourselves. I heard another thought leader online talking about how there's always a difference when it comes to African American people, where there's independent women and there's independent men, and we are raised to not need each other. And it's like, no, 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 no. It was never designed for us to be independent and separate from each other. We are supposed to be helpmates. There's no under nationality of women that identify themselves as being independent. That's a Black cultural conversation where we get excited about being independent, and then we wonder why we struggle and why we can't build and why we can't have things in our community, because we've taken on this identity, this way of being independent. Do you get what I'm saying? If you following what I'm saying, put it in the chat. I get what you're saying. So as you get, and we have this conversation about not being fixed, if you carry those terminologies about being independent, being strong, being able to do things by yourself, you are not fixed, and you do not have to maintain that conversation when it is no longer serving you. Now, some of the things that we have developed with our identity has actually helped us with crisis or breakdowns or upsets or things in our life, and we use those as protective mechanisms. Put this in the chat. It's okay to protect myself. Put it in the chat. It's okay to protect myself. So some of these habits, these ways of being, has protected us for a very long time. So I don't want you to hear me say that you don't need to protect yourself, or you don't need to be strong in certain situations, instances. You don't have to be independent in certain instances. Yes, I think that it's great that you have those capabilities, but what I don't want you to have as independent as a fixed way of being, meaning that you cannot show up any other way. Like, you can't show up needing people. You can't show up as a community. You can't show up as someone that can ask for help, or that you can depend on somebody, or someone can depend on you. So here are a couple of points that I want you to get about the things that you have given yourself over to in a fixed way. Even your career, even your job, whatever it is, get that you can change and you are not fixed. Put it in the chat. I'm not fixed. So number one, when you find yourself overly committing to something, right, where there's writing on the wall that it is calling you to change, to make a shift, to move in a different direction, I want you to remember this conversation that we're having today. And I want you to get that I know that I've been doing this thing for a long time and it has been serving me, but Deneen told me that I am not fixed, that I do not have to remain in this way of being, that I can shift, I can change, and I can take on something else. So number one, a sign that you are fixed is if you're overly committed to something, even when it's not working, even when you know that you need to shift. Number two, when you find that you have been in a situation too long. Number two, I just been here too long. I stayed too long, right? You hear yourself with that consistent complaint. Like, remember a couple of weeks ago, we had a conversation. My coach came in and we talked about this persistent complaint. Well, that's a way of being. That's how you show up in the situations. That's how you deal with situations. That's how you protect yourself, because you want to be right. You want to be strong. You want to win. And you don't really get what it's costing you to stay in situations that don't serve you, because you're in a fixed way of being, because you have subscribed to the identity that you're always meant to be that way. And what I'm telling you is, you're not always meant to be anyway. At any minute, you decide that you want to change the game. Guess what you can do? You can change the game. So if you have been in a position, in a place too long, and it's causing you more upset, breakdown, dread, the loss of joy, loss of fulfillment, loss of passion, then you probably fixed. And what I'm telling you is, you are not fixed. Put it in the chat. I am not fixed. I do not have to stay like a fixed structure that cannot move. And number three, if you find yourself with regret, like if you look at other people and say things like, oh my God, they're living my dream, Or you look at people and say, like, even if it's a family member, even if it's your spouse, right, where you see that they're able to do things that they're passionate about and that they love, but you have told yourself the story that you don't have the same flexibility, that you don't have the same freedom to change a job, to change a career, to change your mind, to change your outlook, right? And this is even with your spiritual beliefs, okay? I want you to get this, that God's words becomes new every day. Like he's always developing you. He's always stripping back layers. He's always giving you a deeper understanding. But sometimes we hold on to belief systems at a default, where it's no longer serving us. It's not producing any fruit. We don't see God in it. Maybe even we have been challenged by it. But because we have believed it for so long, it's hard for us to shift and to grab hold to something new. But do you know that the Lord does a new thing, that he ain't dead and he is alive, and that he can change his mind? And so why we can only receive for God to change his mind in situations that we see as good, right? Like when Hezekiah went to God and was like, look, I need to change your mind here because look at all the things that I've done. Like I need more time. And I want you to get that you can change your mind in any situation, any circumstance, any position that you see yourself being fixed in. Put in the chat, I am not fixed. So number 3 is don't live with regret, because living with regret will rob you from what God has promised you, which is a life of purpose and fulfillment. But you got to align, and you got to shift when you need to shift. And you got to be flexible, and you got to get that he can change the game even when things are going well. More importantly, even when things are not going well, you are not fixed. You are not in a fixed way of being. Change the game when it's necessary to change the game. Change your mind when it's necessary for you to change your mind. Change your point of view when it's necessary for you to change your point of view. Do not keep running into the brick wall when you know that it's no longer working. Stop being fixed. Stop having your feet nailed to the floor. Your feet are not nailed to the floor. Change the game. And neither is your brain, and neither are your thoughts, and neither are anything else that's inside your body. Stop being fixed, because you're not fixed. And there is nothing to fix. And there is nothing to fix. Put it in the chat. There's nothing to fix. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. God has made you whole and complete. He left nothing out. But this fixed way of being, independent, on my own, I could do it, I'm not going to change, this is the way it's always been, this is how my partner likes me, and then you want to be overcommitted to these things that don't work for neither one of you. You want to stay for a long time, and then you want to have regret and think that you're going to be able to blame somebody for being in this fixed way of being. Cut it out. I'm telling you now, you are not fixed. You can change, you can shift, you could change your mind. You could have new viewpoints. You could try new things. You could go after things. You can even try things and it not work and it be okay. Because remember, if God is with you all the time, what are you waiting on to try something new or different? Remember, he's not going to leave your side. He's always going to be there with you, even through whatever the situations are, right? Remember, I said, every decision you make, every decision that you make comes with benefits, consequences, and there's one more thing I can't think of, but every decision that you make, okay, some type of result, benefits and consequences. Like you may get what you want, but it's going to be some benefits and it's going to be some consequences, and it's all right. You will make it. If you made it through the 100% of the bad days that you already had and the decisions that you may call bad, guess what? You'll make them through the rest. Always looking forward to serving you. Put in the chat, I'm not fixed. So look, don't overly commit yourself to things. Don't stay too long. Don't have regret. You can change your mind. You can change your circumstances. And more importantly, you can become someone new. Always looking forward to serving you. I love you. I hope this has benefited you. Share this video and I will see you. Y'all, I don't know. I'm traveling on Friday and I told y'all that I would let you know what I was going to do. I might do something on Friday, but if not, I'll be back. I'll be back in about a week. And if I can record something, I will. But I will be in Palm Springs, California. So for those people who are in California, if you're in Palm Springs, you want to connect, DM me. Let's have a conversation. Maybe we can meet up and see each other while I'm there. I'll be there for about a week. And again, thank you guys for always supporting me. Thank you for sharing these videos. Just know that you're not fixed, and at any minute you could change your mind and you could do something different. I love you. I look forward to serving you. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live.